The notification lit up my phone just as I was about to collapse into bed. Late shift at the diner still clung to me, grease on my apron, ache in my calves. Claire's name flashed, my sister. Anastasia, you need to see this. A video, 30 seconds. I hesitated, thumb hovering. Something tightened in my chest, sharp like a warning. Don't do it. Too late. Tap play. Screen flickered. Sophie's voice cut through, casual, amused. My daughter, 25, still under my roof. There she was, sprawled in Claire's living room, wine glass glinting in her hand, legs crossed like she owned the place. Across from her, Lily, my niece, fidgeted. Sophie sighed, loud, dramatic. My mom's such a joke. Lily's voice, soft, unsure. She's done a lot for you. A snort. Sophie's snort. Please, she's never accomplished anything. Just some pathetic loser who works like a dog for nothing. It's embarrassing. My stomach dropped. Pathetic. Loser. Embarrassing. Words stabbed. Quick. Deep. I gripped the phone, knuckles whitening. The kitchen spun. Sink, fridge, chipped counter, all blurring. Claire's voice snapped from behind the camera, sharp. Sophie, that's your mother. Do you even hear yourself? Sophie laughed, high, careless. What? She acts like some self-sacrificing hero just because she worked 2 jobs. Newsflash, parents are supposed to take care of their kids. I didn't ask for it. She just loves playing the martyr. Video ended. Silence roared. Her laugh echoed in my skull, bouncing off the walls I'd scrubbed clean for her. My daughter, the child I'd bled for. 2 jobs, 15-hour days, diner shifts bleeding into house cleanings. Nights I'd staggered home, too tired to eat, just to keep her in new jeans, school trips, a warm bed. All so she could sip wine and mock me. In a cushy living room I'd never sat in. I stared at the black screen. A cinder block pressed my chest. Breathing hurt. Claire's next text glowed. I confronted her after. She doesn't feel bad, Anastasia. She believes it. I didn't know if I should tell you, but I couldn't keep quiet. Tears burned, hot, unwanted. I swallowed them down. No reply. Couldn't. Phone hit the counter, hard. I stumbled to the bathroom, hands gripping the sink. Cold porcelain steadied me. Mirror showed a woman I barely knew, lines carved deep, eyes hollow. Pathetic? Me? Sophie's face flashed, smirking, entitled, ungrateful, always had been. New clothes every season, never a bill in her name, college paid for, my sweat, my back breaking. And this? This was her thanks? Disdain. Pure, polished disdain. I closed my eyes, exhaled slow. Could have screamed. Could have called her right then, ripped into every word she'd spat. But no. Too easy. She'd shrug it off, roll her eyes, like always. Number. She needed more. A lesson. One she'd never forget. Not yelling. Not tears. Silence. Cold, hard reality. I'd stay quiet. Act normal. She'd wake up to it soon enough. Next week the surprise would hit. My hands loosened on the sink. A plan clicked into place, sharp as a blade. She thought I was nothing? Fine. Let's see how she liked nothing. I straightened, wiped my face. Bed could wait. This couldn't. Morning came too fast. Clock glared 6:15 a.m. Coffee steamed bitter in my mouth. Sophie's door stayed shut, like always. 25 and still sleeping till noon. Typical. I sipped, stared at that door. The video looped in my head. Pathetic loser. Never accomplished anything, each word a brick. Stacking higher. 2 decades, 2 jobs. For her. New shoes, field trips, college she barely finished. All for what? So she could sneer? I set the mug down, quiet. Enough. No more. She'd learn. Not with shouting. Too loud. Too cheap. Something better. Something real. My eyes slid to the kitchen drawer, papers inside, job apps I'd grabbed months ago, thinking she'd grow up. Apartment listings, cheap ones, circled in red. Her safety net? Gone. Time to fall. I pulled the drawer open, slow. Fingers brushed the envelope. Her future. Her wake-up call. 2 jobs, Anastasia, 15-hour days. For this? Mockery? Number. She'd feel it now. The weight I'd carried. Rent. Bills. Food she ate without a thought. Almond milk on the counter. Hers. Fancy cereal she demanded. My money. Her life. Not anymore. Plan sharpened. 30 days. That's what I'd give her. Find a job. A place. Stand on her own. She wouldn't see it coming. I'd smile, pour coffee, act like nothing, then hit her with it. Watch her smugness crack. She thought I was a failure? Let her try succeeding without me. I folded the envelope, tucked it back. Clock ticked. 6:20. She'd sleep through it all, oblivious. Good. I wiped the counter, slow, deliberate. Anger didn't own me. Not yet. This was colder, clearer. Revenge? Maybe. But more. A lesson. She'd thank me one day or hate me. Didn't care. She'd learn. I'd make sure of it. Coffee went cold. Didn't matter. I was awake now. Noon hit. Kitchen hummed, fridge buzzing soft. Sophie sauntered in, pajama shorts sagging, hoodie swallowing her frame. Yawned like the world owed her sleep. I wiped my hands on a dish towel, watched her grab the almond milk, my almond milk. Poured it into her overpriced cereal, spoon clinking, casual, oblivious. I need your card later, she mumbled, eyes on her phone. Sale at some boutique, leather jacket, of course. No, I said, voice flat. She blinked, finally looked up. What? Lips parted, half laughing. Not today, I said, folding the towel. Not tomorrow, not ever again. She stared, cereal dripping. Wait, what? You're joking, right? Her laugh hung, thin, nervous. I leaned against the counter, arms crossed. Do I look like I'm joking? She set the bowl down, slow. Phone tightened in her grip. Okay, seriously, what's wrong with you? Did something happen at work? Work. That word hit like a slap, harder than she knew. Funny you mention work, Sophie. I tilted my head, voice steady. Let's see. 20 years breaking my back. Diner, houses, 2 jobs. To keep this roof over us. Gave you everything. And what do I get? A daughter who thinks I'm a pathetic loser. Her face paled. Just a flicker. What are you talking about? She muttered, but her eyes darted. Guilty. Claire sent me the video, I said flat. I heard everything. Her fingers clenched the phone. Smugness cracked, but she fought it. Mom, you're taking that way too seriously. I was just venting. Venting. I let it hang, heavy in the air. So calling me a failure, saying I'm embarrassing, telling Lily you don't want people knowing I'm your mom, that's just venting. She sighed, rubbed her temples. Look, I didn't mean it like that. I was just frustrated. Frustrated with what? I scoffed, stepping closer. Living rent-free? Food on the table? Never worrying about a bill? She rolled her eyes, rolled them, and something snapped inside me. Not loud. Quiet. Certain. Oh my God, here we go, she groaned. You always do this. Act like you're some saint because you worked hard. Newsflash, Mom. Parents are supposed to provide for their kids. You're not special. That was it. The snap locked in. You're right, I said, calm, too calm. Parents provide for their kids, and I did. But you're not a kid anymore, Sophie. I walked to the drawer, pulled the envelope, placed it on the table between us. Slow, deliberate. What's this? She asked, staring. Open it. She hesitated, then ripped it open, sighing like it was a chore. Eyes scanned the papers. Job app, apartment listing. Her face twisted, confused. What? Congratulations, I said, smiling thin. You're officially on your own. Silence thickened. No, she said, shaking her head. No, you're not serious. Very serious. I folded my arms. You've got 30 days, job, place to live. You're an adult, Sophie. Act like it. Her eyes widened, chest rising fast. Mom, you can't do this. I don't have any money. Not my problem. Voice steady, cold. This is insane, she snapped, slamming the paper down. What? You're kicking me out over some stupid video? No, Sophie, I said, stepping back. I'm kicking you out because I'm done supporting someone who thinks I'm worthless. Her breath hitched, loud. Fear flickered. Real fear. Where am I supposed to go? She demanded. You're 25, I said, simple. Figure it out. Her lip trembled, just a second, then hardened. Fine, I don't need you anyway, I'll go live with Dad. I laughed. Deep, bitter, real. She flinched. Oh, Sophie, I said, shaking my head. That's the funniest thing you've ever said. Her father, gone since she was 4. No calls, no checks, no nothing. Not a savior, a ghost. Good luck with that, I added, turning away. Mom, she said, softer now, smaller. I paused. Can we just talk about this? I exhaled, faced her. Arrogance gone. Smugness crumbled. We'll talk, I said, after you figure out where you're going. Then I walked away, left her standing there, staring at the first mess I wouldn't clean up. Days crept by, quiet and tense. The living room felt different now, heavier. Sophie hunched over her laptop on the couch, screen glowing against her tired face. Job postings scrolled past, her fingers tapping slow, reluctant. I leaned against the doorway, coffee in hand, watching. She rubbed her eyes, muttered, "Not really slept." Her oversized hoodie sagged, swallowing her frame. First time I'd seen her up before noon without a fight. Progress, maybe. That's what stress does to you, I said, sipping. Welcome to adulthood. She let out a humorless laugh, short and dry, then went back to scrolling. No argument, no eye roll. Strange. My food still filled her plate, cereal, almond milk, all mine. But this? This was new. She was looking. Actually looking. My Wi-Fi kept her connected. My roof kept her dry. But those clicks, those applications, they were hers. A start. Small, shaky, but a start. I didn't push. Let her sit with it. She'd always had me to carry her. Rent, groceries, every little want. Now the net was gone and she was flailing. Good. She needed to feel it. I turned to the kitchen, left her there, but later she went out. Interview at some retail store, she'd said, voice flat. Came back hours later, bag hitting the chair with a thud. Her face said it before she did. Defeated. Tight. How'd it go? I asked, setting my mug down. They didn't hire me, she groaned, flopping onto the couch. Said, I don't have experience. It's a freaking cashier job. How much experience do you need to scan a barcode? Her hands waved, exasperated. I shrugged, leaned back. Guess now you see why people work hard for jobs. World doesn't hand you things, Sophie. She stared at me, lips pressed thin. No comeback. She knew I was right, even if she hated it. I watched her sprawl there, staring at the ceiling. Reality was sinking in. Slow, but sure. She'd mocked my diner shifts, my cleaning gigs, called them embarrassing. Now she couldn't even land one. Funny, in a twisted way. Not that I laughed, not out loud. Did you check those apartments? I asked, casual. She scoffed. Yeah. You expect me to afford $1,500 a month on minimum wage? Even if I get a job, it won't be enough. Her voice cracked, just a little. I crossed my arms. Maybe now you get why I worked 2 jobs for years. She didn't answer. Didn't have to. She was starting to understand. 10 days in, the air thickened. Kitchen hummed, fridge rattling soft. Sophie reached in, grabbed a yogurt, the expensive kind she always demanded, peeled the lid back, took a bite, casual as ever. I watched from the sink, towel in hand, then held out my palm. That'll be $3, I said, voice even. She froze, spoon halfway to her mouth. What? Her brows scrunched, like I'd lost it. $3, I repeated, steady. That's what it costs. She stared, yogurt dangling. You're charging me for yogurt? Disbelief sharpened her tone. Yes, I said, calm, wiping my hands. You're an adult, looking for a job. Time you understand how money works. Starts today. Her jaw clenched, face flushing red. Mom? Seriously? She snapped, voice rising. This is insane. No, Sophie, I said, stepping closer. What's insane is me paying for everything while you sit here calling me a failure. What's insane is you being 25 and expecting me to baby you. The words landed hard, heavy. Her chest heaved, but she had nothing. No defense. She knew it. 20 years I'd shelled out. Food, rent, her little luxuries, while she sneered. Now she'd feel the pinch. She slammed the yogurt on the counter, splattering it, and stormed to her room. Door banged shut. Silence fell, thick and cold. I let her stew. Days stretched, quiet, tense. She applied to jobs, came back empty-handed. Apartments too pricey, rejection piling up. Then day 15 hit. A knock, soft, at my bedroom door. I opened it, found her standing there, eyes red, lips pressed tight. She shifted, awkward. Can we talk? She asked, voice small. I gestured her in, sat on the bed. She took the chair across, hands fidgeting in her lap. She said nothing at first, just stared at the floor. I waited, patient. Finally, she looked up. I get it now, she whispered. Her shoulders slumped, hoodie swallowing her frame. I thought I was better than you, because I went to college, had friends who lived big. But I didn't see it. Everything you did. Her voice cracked, soft, raw. I couldn't even get a basic job. Didn't know how expensive everything is. How exhausting it is worrying about money every day. I swallowed, hands tightening on my knees. She wiped her nose, kept going. The worst part? You did it alone, and I acted like you were nothing. I'm so sorry, Mom. Her shoulders shook, tears spilling now. I exhaled slow, steadying myself. My daughter, not the spoiled brat, not the smug girl from the video. Someone new, lost, humbled, real. Do you know why your father left? I asked, voice low. She sniffled. He didn't love us, right? I shook my head. No, Sophie. He was a coward. Didn't want responsibility. Thought life should be easy, like you did. Her lip trembled, eyes dropping. I never wanted that for you, I said. Worked myself to death so you wouldn't struggle. But I made a mistake. Protected you too much. She nodded, slow, understanding. Mom, she said quiet, can I start over? I studied her. No arrogance, just regret. Depends, I said. Are you ready to change? She nodded fast. Yes, I swear I reached for her hand, squeezed. Then, let's start. Her hand stayed in mine, warm, trembling. The bedroom felt smaller now, walls closing in with the weight of her words. I get it now, she'd said, and it echoed, soft but real. I let her talk, let the silence stretch between us. She shifted in the chair, hoodie bunched around her shoulders, eyes red and raw. I thought I was better than you, she admitted, voice cracking. Because I had that degree, because my friends posted their fancy lives online. But I didn't see it, Mom. How hard it was for you. I leaned back against the headboard, hands tight in my lap. 20 years flashed, diner grease, mop buckets, nights I'd collapsed on this bed, bones aching. All for her. She wiped her nose, kept going. I couldn't even get a cashier job. Nobody wanted me. I didn't know how much rent costs, how fast money disappears. Didn't know how exhausting it is, worrying every day. Her voice broke, a sob slipping out. And you did it alone. For me. And I treated you like nothing. I'm so sorry. My throat tightened, a lump I couldn't swallow. This wasn't the Sophie from the video, wine glass in hand, smirking. This was my daughter, stripped bare, humbled. The one I'd hoped for, buried under years of entitlement. Her shoulders shook, tears streaking her face. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. "Do you know why your father left?" I asked, voice low, calm. She looked up, eyes glistening. "He didn't love us, right?" She sniffled. I shook my head, slow. "No, Sophie. He left because he was a coward. Didn't want the work, the responsibility. Thought the world owed him something, just like you did." Her lip trembled, head dropping. Truth hit her, hard. "I never wanted that for you," I said, leaning forward. "I worked myself to the bone so you wouldn't feel the struggle I did. Gave you everything, school, clothes, a home. But I messed up. Shielded you too much from reality." She nodded, slow, staring at her hands. "I see that now," she whispered. "I thought it was easy, that you just did it. But it wasn't, and I made it worse." Her voice faltered, guilt thick in every word. I exhaled, long and slow. "You did," I said, honest. "Called me a failure, embarrassing, said I was nothing. But you're not the only one who's been blind. I let you think the world would catch you. That's on me." Her head snapped up, eyes wide. "No, Mom, it's not." I raised a hand, stopped her. "It is. I gave you too much, too long. Let you coast. But that's done now." She swallowed, nodded again. "I don't want to coast anymore," she said, quiet but firm. "I want to fix this. I'm sorry for everything." Her chest heaved, a fresh sob breaking free. "I hope you can forgive me." I studied her face. No defiance, no smugness, just regret, raw and real. My daughter, finally awake. I slid off the bed, knelt in front of her, took both her hands. "I forgave you a long time ago," I said, voice thick. "Just needed you to see yourself first." She broke then, fully, sobs shaking her frame. She leaned forward, forehead against mine, tears wetting my skin. "Mom, can I start over?" she asked, voice small, pleading. I pulled back, looked her in the eyes. No trace of the old Sophie, just a young woman, lost but willing. "Depends," I said, squeezing her hands. "Are you ready to change?" She nodded fast, desperate. "Yes, I swear, yes." I smiled, faint but real. "Then let's start over." She lunged forward, hugged me tight, arms clinging, like she hadn't since she was a kid. I held her back, felt her shake. Not revenge, not anymore. This was better, her, changing from the inside out, the real win. Weeks later, the kitchen felt alive again. Toast popped at 7 a.m., sharp and sudden. Sophie stood there, no phone, no whining, just bread in hand, making breakfast. First time in years she'd seen this hour without a brunch date dragging her out. I sipped my coffee, leaned against the counter, watched her move. She didn't reach for the almond milk or her fancy cereal. Chose the cheap loaf instead, the one I bought for myself. Progress, real progress. She slid into a chair, poked at her toast. "Morning," she mumbled, voice rough. "What's the plan today?" I asked, casual, mug warm in my hands. She exhaled, crumbs falling. "Got an interview, cafe down the street. Just a waitress job, but..." She trailed off, eyes on her plate. "But it's a start," I finished, smiling faint. She nodded, quick, like she meant it. "Yeah, a start." I set my coffee down, let that sink in. She was trying, not coasting, not waiting for me to fix it. 3 days later, she got it. Came home after her first shift, groaning as she collapsed on the couch. Shoes hit the floor, loud. "Oh my God," she said, rubbing her feet. "Rough day?" I smirked, tea steaming in my mug. She shot me a look half dead. "My feet feel like elephants stomped them. Customers are the worst. Some guy snapped his fingers at me like I'm a dog. A lady sent her coffee back 3 times. A kid spilled juice all over my jeans. And the tips? Barely anything. Her voice rose, exasperated, then fell, tired. I sipped, slow. So working hard for little appreciation is frustrating? She froze, lips pressing thin, caught. I leaned forward, mug clinking on the table. Imagine doing that for 20 years. Her face softened, eyes dropping to her lap. Mom, she said quiet. I get it now. I used to think you were obsessed with work, that you didn't have a life. But you didn't have a choice. Her words hung, heavy, honest. I nodded, simple. Number I didn't, and neither do you, if you want a real life. She exhaled, leaned back, staring at the ceiling. No argument, no eye roll, just silence, thick with something new, understanding. I'm proud of you, Sophie, I said, voice steady. Really, this is the first real thing you've done for yourself. First time you've seen what my life's been like. She sat up, rubbed her sore feet, met my eyes. I used to think I was above it, she admitted, soft. Above you, but I'm not. I smiled, small but real. No one is. You're learning that. She nodded, slow, and for once, she didn't look away. Growth, right there, in her tired eyes. Mine, too, in the pride swelling my chest. Sunday evening settled soft over the kitchen, chicken roasted, filling the air with warmth. I set the table, forks clinking, when Sophie walked in, 2 plates in hand. I made dinner, she said, almost shy, setting them down. Roasted veggies, simple, nothing fancy. But she'd never cooked a full meal before. I raised an eyebrow, surprised. You cooked? She let out a small laugh, nervous. Yeah. Figured I've been eating your food for free for 25 years. About time I made something for you. I smiled, set the utensils down. Well, let's see if you got my skills. We sat, dug in. No tension, no arguing, just us, sharing a meal. Halfway through, she cleared her throat, hesitant. So, I got good news today, she said, voice uncertain but bright. I set my fork down, looked at her. Oh? She swallowed, fiddled with her shirt hem. I got the marketing job, the one I applied for. It's entry level, pays not amazing, but it's a start. Something I actually want to do. My chest warmed, a slow, real smile spreading. Sophie, that's incredible. She exhaled, nodded fast. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's mine. I could see it, ambition flickering in her eyes, buried so long under entitlement. Then she reached into her pocket, pulled out an envelope, slid it across the table. Wanted to give you this, she said, quieter now. I frowned, picked it up. Cash inside. Hundreds. Crinkled. What's this? My first rent payment, she said, shifting in her seat. It's not much, but I wanted to contribute. Don't want to take you for granted anymore, Mom. My heart swelled, unexpected, full. This wasn't just money, this was her proving it. I swallowed, looked at her. You don't know how much this means, I said, voice thick. She nodded, soft. I think I do. I slid the cash back, gentle. Keep it, I said, her brows furrowed. What? I squeezed her hand. You've already given me what I wanted, the daughter I knew you could be. A month later, the front door stood open. Boxes stacked neat by the wall, Sophie's new apartment key jingling in her hand. Small place, nothing grand, but hers. She turned to me, eyes glistening, and hugged me tight. Thank you, Mom, she said, voice breaking. For everything. I love you. I hugged her back, throat tight. I love you too, I said, emotion spilling over. She pulled away, smiled through tears, then walked out. Not fleeing, not angry, but choosing. The door shut soft behind her, and the house hummed, empty. I stood there, staring at it, my smile real, quiet. She was gone, standing on her own. Best revenge, not pain, not bitterness. This, her seeing, changing, growing. I moved to the sink, started washing dishes. Her voice from weeks ago crept back, soft, honest. I wasn't mad at you, Mom. I was mad at myself. Thought I'd be great, successful. When I wasn't, I blamed you. She'd pause then, eyes wet. I was wrong. About everything. Hope you can forgive me. I'd pulled her close, whispered, I did. Just needed you to see yourself first. Now she had. Cafe shifts, marketing job, rent she'd tried to pay. All hers. No more takeout on my card, no more coasting. She'd woken up. I dried my hands, felt the shift inside. For years, I'd felt like a failure, sacrificed everything, got disdain. But now, a daughter who understood, who loved me back. Real revenge wasn't hurting her. It was this, watching her change, knowing I'd helped her get there. The house was mine again, but so was she, in a way I'd never lost.